Okay, this sucks because I've already recorded fucking like 2, 3 other videos today. I just uploaded one of them. But I'm gonna record another one because I just fucking watched this and it's so true. And he hit so many logical points that relate to the video that I made, so that's why I want to talk about this. And essentially, right now, I just want to backtrack what he's talking about because I'm gonna be making a video on funnel method soon, and I think it's really important because he's literally talking about it right now, and it's actually really cool. I like that he's saying this, so we're gonna make this smaller, and I'm just gonna draw over here. So essentially, what he's talking about is he's talking about having multiple characters. So we're just gonna do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oof. Uh, 6. Right. And we're just gonna assume they're all 1560 because that's kind of where I'm at, right? I should have done this different, but yeah, because now I have to sit here and fucking this way. All right, 1560, right? And he's kind of right. He's 100% right. So we're gonna and I like how he said this because it's gonna allow us to utilize it to make some points. Okay, we're gonna. It's very important that I think about this the way I want to do it. But essentially, what he's talking about right now is he's talking about how people's standard, how they can't set the pace of the game, the standard of release content, for people who want to have all 6 of their characters at, on max level 1600. And I actually agree with this because he's right. Like literally in the word choices that he uses, he said, "Then what is an alt?" And what he's implying there is that you're supposed to take resources from these other characters to get your one character to be ready for the content. The whole point from alt characters is it's an alternate character to your main character. Your main character should have more progression, right? And he's right. And I actually love that he's saying this because he's wrong to a degree, but he's only wrong for different reasons because he doesn't understand the math side of it, I think, or he's not even caring about it. But he's right in ideology, and that's what matters here. Because he's saying that you can't have 6 characters at content readiness. First off, I had all my characters ready for hard rel, so that's not true. That's just not true. And I have videos on it, on funnel concepts, what we're going to talk about actually in this next video, but this actually helps about how there's an equilibrium point. There's a point that you reach, or not equilibrium. I gotta find the right word, but it's like a tipping point, turnover point, where your alts actually can start funneling 6 characters. So let's imagine you only need 3 characters to make 1 character strong, right? Or 2 characters plus that character, so 3 total, right? Let's see or I don't want to do it with my fingers. Let's say, you know what? This is how we're gonna do this. Actually, I got an idea. So let's say to get, if you want to get 1/1600 character, let's just say that it means that you have to funnel resources from this character, and this character. So it takes 3 characters worth of gold, resources, honor stones, everything, guardians funneling into one to get 1/1600. Right? If that's the ratio, right? 3 to 1, then that means with a 6 character roster, even if you're playing these characters like alts and funneling, that you should be able to get 2 characters to 1600. Right? See where I'm going with this? I don't actually know what the ratio is. Now, I'm not going to type out all of these numbers. I'm just not. I'm not, because I don't know. We'd have to do actual math. I don't have the fucking. Just no, okay? Alright, I'd love to, but we can't. We just can't. Like, it would just take too long, and I don't feel like fucking doing it. Maybe I could do, like, pre-math and hope that you guys trust me, but, like, I really like doing the math on screen. I'm not really a big fan of doing it off screen with you guys, without you guys, because it's just, I want you to see it. I want you to believe it. I want you to see, and also if I'm wrong, I want you to see my work, my math. So if I'm wrong, we can figure out where I went wrong. Because I can miss a variable. Like, I'm subject to fucking error. I'm a human being. I don't think I'm going to have space for this, but I only need 18. I was going to do 24 because it's 24, but I can't. So now you see where I'm going with this, though? Right? So if you wanted to get a 3rd character, this is what I was talking about a long time ago, right? If you wanted to get a 3rd character, I have to draw up more of these. 7, 8, 9. Did I skip? Okay. So back to what we were doing. Yeah, we only really need this. And then I these here. I only chose this color because I just needed something that was defined. Oof. You know, we could probably do a better job of that. Oh my God. That's what it looks like when you have no idea what you're doing, for the record, but it's okay. I don't really need to keep showing this because actually I was just trying to get ideology across, right? So the point is that now if you wanted to get, you know, another 2 characters, you would need 1, 2, 3, 1. That was wrong. 1. I'm just gonna connect it, actually. Yeah, that's a good idea. 3. And maybe I should make them different colors. I don't know. Is that confusing? Like, that does look really, like, kind of... Like, here it looks pretty confusing, I think. But okay, you get the point. So you could get 4 1600 characters if you have 12 characters that are able to funnel into them, right? Which means that these characters have to be 1490. So it's... The reason I'm showing you this is because it's actually changing my plan. I'm actually going to go for... Like I said, I was going to get, I got 3 of them so far to 1490. The Reaper's at 75. That'll be an easy 4th. The harder ones are going to be my 5th and 6th character to 1490. So I can start funneling these characters. Those are going to be the harder 2. And I might not do that. I might just do 3 or 4 so I can get a 3rd character to 1600. I might just go for 3 characters or something like that. But you see my point. All right, and that's assuming that this is correct. Right, I think it is. I think 3 to 1 is kind of a nice ratio. I have no idea, but you can do the actual math. We could do the actual math. It's just my dad is old at this point, so I'd have to do too much legwork, and I don't really want to do it. But the ideology here is true. So what he's saying is that you should only have 1 1600 character. It's your main character, and that's true. I wholeheartedly agree with him. And the thing is, too, to add to his point, often what I find is, like, I had all my characters at 1560 ready for the content, but I didn't do 1, 5, and 6 week 1. Because I was trying to get at least 1 and 2, or at least 3 and 4 on all my other characters. And week 2 and week 3, it was the exact same thing. To this point, I still haven't done a 5-6. Because I'm trying to get 6 characters, 1 through 4. So he's got a really good point. Like, there's a lot of really good points in what he's saying. I'm just saying that the only reason he's wrong is because it can be upscaled. He's right about the alt thing, but if you do 24 characters, 24 divided by 3 is 6. If you run a full roster, and your full roster is relatively at a point where they're feeding those characters, Again, we'd have to really take a look at this to figure out whether or not it's 100% possible. But I'm thinking it is, actually. I am. Yeah, let's go ahead and play.
That means alts don't help your main at all. Alts help themselves. And I have 14 alts, bro. I can't. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. Right? People don't want it. And as a new class drops and a new class drops and a new class drops, I don't blame you for not wanting to make one. And it's hard to give up a character. That's the problem with the game, right? That's the FOMO, okay? It's in the design of the game in that they release these cool characters, and you're gonna push it up, and you're gonna invest in it. And you're not gonna wanna give up your old character. Some people will. And so that's the problem here, right? That's the problem. They feed 3 classes a year in some cases. They give you an express event to juice that character up, right? And so it's not the dino here. The person that's saying you're giving into FOMO is the new player, because the existing player is saying this. The dinos are swapped in this example. ATK is this guy, right? The new player doesn't experience this yet, and that's what he was getting at.
No, but this is the other thing I had a problem with too. He's kind of right. Like, and I showed this in that video. This kid's kind of right in the sense that, like, rest gauge, like the meme is right here. There is rest gauge. There is rest gauge. I've already proved this a couple dozen times now. If I have 12 characters, and 6 of them, my main 6 are at 1560, and then these 6 characters are all at like 1490, and they're doing that dungeon, right? And if they're at 1490, they're at 1520. Let's be real, right? Because like, it doesn't make sense not to be. Because you get the free eye level, right? But let's just say they're at 1490 and they're doing that dungeon. The 1490 dungeon rested will produce more resources than the unrested version of the 1560 dungeon. But yeah, essentially, so I kind of got off track there. But the point is that the rest, because that's how that works, these second 6 characters will actually produce, more resources that can be funneled into these other characters. So it's just not true. Like, that's actually what most of my videos were about. The reason why I started going way beyond 12 alts was because I realized that what having alt is allowing me to do is finally actually take advantage of the rest bonus. Because when you only have 3 characters to 6 characters, and then you're using rest, you kind of are losing out on resources pretty hard. And even when you have more than 6 characters and you are utilizing rest, you're still losing out pretty hard. That doesn't change, right? But the difference is a 6 roster character or a 6 character roster versus a 24 character roster, right? My 24 character roster with rest versus your 6 character roster with unrest is pretty much the same. And actually, I already know that it's like, I think it's, what was it? It was like 15 characters. 15 characters was the point where we're being unrest. Actually, it might have even been less. I could have played with those numbers more, but I think 15 was what we had for numbers. And 15 characters, unrested content, will produce more resources in less time than your 6 unrested main characters. So he's right, but he's wrong. Like, there's extremes to this. And the whole point is I was setting my account up since the very beginning. Like, I have a close friend, that we were always arguing about who was better at it. And our third friend was always pointing out to me, like, jokes. Like, do you think he'd be better at this game because he's more efficient? And, like, no, I did better because I planned for the long game and he was planning for the short term. I'm going to say it like it is. I did better because I knew that alts were essential to the game. And I knew very early on that the more alts that you had because of this rest bonus concept, that the better the rest bonus becomes. It's just it. And ideally, like I said, you try to keep the alts at a point where they actually can be utilized, funneled, and made more money off of. Right now, if they're not at 1490, because we're in a whole new branch of materials, and we're moving towards another new branch of materials, if your alts aren't at 1490, they're not and I mean alts beyond 6 alts, they're not able to funnel properly. And even if your alts aren't at 1490 here, like if you have 6 characters, but your characters aren't 1490, that's your goal. That's your goal right now. I'm dead serious to you, and I'm going to make more videos on this, but if you have one character at 1560, right, and you have a bunch of characters that are not at 1490, you need to get them to 1490 so you can start giving him a ridiculous amount of materials. And that might sound really difficult to do, but if they got to be sitting on bound materials, like, that's the whole fucking point. I got to make the video. I got to make a video on funnel method and everything. I can actually explain how it works to people, but...
yet, and that's what he was getting at. The new player doesn't have that many characters, so that's chilling. They don't give a fuck. And the people on Invent and stuff like that, that's
this
why
is so true too, because there's this one chick that I play with. We don't play together anymore, but she used to say that. She asked really good questions about, like, how many characters you need to make, and I didn't actually have really good answers for her all the time, and I feel bad because I didn't have, like, the real math at the time. You know, I just had the ideology. I knew that it was true because there's certain extremes that you can weigh out that kind of just make something true or not true. You can figure it out, right? But she went from having like 1 or 2 characters, and she's not the only one. I just remember her specifically, but she went from having like 1 or 2 characters to like a fucking fat roster. Like a fat roster, not like my roster, but like a fat roster, because like it's just
make the change.
Yeah.
Because the game is catering to the new player. The new player doesn't give a fuck that they have 4 Guardians and 4 Chaos. What else are they gonna do? Truth. Now, that's why I was saying they should put it into more roster.
Truth, and you gotta think, like, when we were new players, a lot of my friends, a lot of people quit early on in the game because the end game for us was, or for them, because I wasn't even there yet, but the end game for them was Infinite Chaos Dungeon on 1 character or 2 characters, because at the time they didn't want to make alts. You know, so he's kind of right. Like, a lot of what he's saying here has a lot of truth to it.
Wide stuff, and invest in professions and other things. So that people...
I do want to say that I completely disagree. He said at one point, it's behind this, but he said at one point how a lot of people quit because they had hard bro for a year in Korea. I don't think that you guys are looking at this correctly. Again, you're not wrong here. The statement's correct. You don't understand why, though, so let me elaborate right here, right? And I'm not even going to... Okay, so what I was talking about is he says that a lot of people quit because of hard bro taking too long. I don't agree with that. You can extend the time frame of the content. People quit between those time frames because they saw the Legion Commander as what this game is all about. And that's the developer's fault. Again, it's back to that point that I made about I've never seen a developer have so much dead content in their game. We all enjoyed the Acades fight, even people who didn't beat it. Like, I didn't beat it. I still enjoyed it. It was fun. It was challenging. I enjoyed the Mystic Raid thing when that came around, too. Right, so the point that I'm trying to make here is that they need to just fill our time with stupid, silly little events, things that take less than 100 hours of development time, right? Because it's a couple months. Less than 100 hours of development time by 1 or 2 developers that they can just kind of shovel to us really fast. Or spread out the character releases. Or just give us lull time sometimes. And I think it'll be totally okay. Because you're also, like, you're saying it like these players complete the full raid every week. I haven't completed Brawl 6 once. So I've never got my full amounts of pieces, which means technically I won't have mine in 8 weeks. So I'll probably have it in like 10 to 12, right? So you see where I'm going with this? And that's on the higher end because I actually get a lot of my content done. Do you know what I mean? There's some people who don't get it done. They get jailed, they get gatekept, they can't complete it, they're not good enough yet. Whatever the case may be, you are missing a massive aspect here. The people in Korea that quit, it's probably because, one, you guys have the first version of the game, so they probably, not only were you only waiting for Hard Brawl, like with Clown and all the other ones, you were probably all waiting for all of that with nothing in between. But in addition to that, like, what I'm saying is, like, you didn't get things, like, we get all these events and all these things. Maybe you did get them, but did you? Like, I don't know. I've seen, like, people say that we've gotten spoiled way more than anybody else. And maybe I don't understand that fully, but what I'm trying to get at, essentially, is that I think that the people in your region quit because there wasn't much going on. It was a new game, not a new game, but you're at the precipice of where they're at, so it's always going to take longer for that content to come out. So I'm not saying that they should have made us wait a year like they did with you, but 4 months versus a year is a pretty big difference. They cut it to a quarter of your time frame. I don't know. I just you should see that and realize it's wrong because of the numerical data. But it's okay. I guess we're going to ignore numbers and we're going to go with marketing strategies because that's what you were basically trying to say at that point, was that they're trying to cater to new players. But again, new player, I talk about it in my last video, like the gatekeeping, Fions, all that stuff. Like, you just need to give them more time to get prepared. But yeah, so I do disagree with some of the stuff he says, but not all of it.
People can go do other things with their time, more fun events, right? Build out the game.
Yeah, like if they gave us, I have to say this one more time, if they gave us more in-between events and just gave us more time between the major content, that's what I was saying. So people look at the raids like that's the only part of the game, and that's a problem because of the developers. But if they gave us other little facets of the game that were also imperative to our linear, somewhat progression, right? But it comes off in a horizontal earning path, right? And just things to keep us busy and distracted, even if it's a fucking quest line to get skill points or something, or a quest line to go get like Algacia is a time filler. It's a really good one, actually. Like Algacia should have been 4 months, or whatever the heck it is, or opposite, whatever this thing is for 1580, should have been at 4 months, not 2 months, and then a con should have been in 8 months. That's it. Period. The end. Simple fix.
Like 5 months ago in that Korean translated video that I posted on fucking Invent. And a lot of people agree. The game needs to expand at the top end to let people kind of just fuck around and do what they want, right? And just enjoy their free time a little bit more. Like the new player. The new player's got plenty of time. The new player is...
And see, again, this is what I'm saying, too. Like, here's what's crazy about this. By doing what I'm saying, by giving us that more time, you're going to give us what he's talking about, that leeway, taking us off the tightrope, giving us a little bit of wiggle room, so to say, so we're not stressed that we're not playing the game 24/7, or if we are playing the game 24/7, like you just said, we can spread our love a little bit else to the alts, and I get it. It's hard to argue it. Like, your main really should always be the highest on your roster, and now that he said this, I really am going to reestablish how I've been looking at my account, right? Granted, I'm still convinced I can keep up what I want to keep up because I've done the math before and I know I can, right? But, like, and that's the fun of it sometimes, is picking unreasonable, unrealistic challenges. Like, that's the whole point. It wouldn't be cool, right? But, and doing it in an easier manner, that's the better part, is showing people how to do it in a way that's just simpler. But, either way, just extend it. It's not complicated.
And you know what's fucked up is the new player, they want the AOS. They want the islands. They think that's cool. That's what they were designing it for. All of the little things, the Mario Party, the new player. Guess who wasn't saying that? Guess who's saying take that out, just give us more raids? The fucking this Makoko. Because they got all the motherfucking dailies, bro. It's not black and white. There's a middle line to all of this, right? But the problem in our version is that we give.
I disagree. It is black and white. You just pointed out two opposites to a side, and there is a middle to all of it, and it's actually genuinely what I said. You just extend the time between content, and that doesn't mean a year. And here's why your logic is null void. Like, their market, it just shows how dumb as a company they actually are. And I'm sorry for calling people dumb still, but this is why their marketing companies, it's just, oh my god, I hate humanity sometimes. But I'm going to explain this, and I'm going to explain it in hope that I don't get fucking contradiction on it, because the truth of this is so true. They're telling you that the reason they want to release the content in a timely fashion is because they want something for us to be excited for, get prepared for, and chase. Right? They could do that by just allowing Korea, or actually, I don't even have to say by allowing, right? Because I'm going to say it as is and then speak on the future of it, right? But right now, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, genuinely, because all we've been doing in the West is looking at where you guys are at and anticipating and hoping to get there. It's not the same. You guys were waiting around, what did you say in your own video here? Without a roadmap at some points, which means that they didn't know that there was something to look forward to, right? So they should apply that marketing strategy on their own version of the game. Oh my god, like, this is funny for a lot of reasons. But two, that marketing strategy doesn't need to be paid to be applied or changed to be applied to our region, because it's inherently applied by us being the second or third or whatever region to inherit the game. It's hilarious, actually. I didn't realize that, but like, it shows how dumb you guys actually are as a company. So I hope you haven't actually put any money towards marketing this game, because the people have already taken over, so you don't have to pay for marketing anymore. You just be an idiot. You just gotta make the game good. But anyways, the whole raid thing, like, I don't know. I don't want just raids. Like, I would actually love some side puzzle content. Like, I would love to go through a raid where it's like escape room or something with 4 other players. Like, where we have to fucking play different shit and do different things and play different songs and use different tunes to get through it. What, do you guys just lack the creativity to make some shit like this? Like, again, hire me. I really want to work in game development. It'd be fun. And I'd love to just be a director, because, I mean, I love telling people what to do, so say it like it is. Say it like it is. So, yeah, in the future of it... And the future of the marketing strategy is because eventually they want to get us caught up to Korea, which means that they would eventually have to give us things to look forward to, right? And then implement these strategies, try to release content sooner, etc. All the crap that they're basically using right now. And then they would have to implement those things, right? They would have to. But I actually think it might even be smarter, if I'm being completely honest, to always leave, because I never really saw it this way until having to look at it because of this bullshit. But I never really looked at it this way, but actually, any company or any game that does something like this has multi-region releases. You should intentionally keep every other region behind Korea. 2 reasons. One, for the Koreans being first, they deserve to have some sort of proprietariness, like some sort of special, that's not the right word, not proprietary, but some sort of special privilege, you know? And being ahead at least 1 update to 2 updates is actually kind of, I think, cool. But 2, you should do it because it would always give us something to look forward to. It's like free marketing. It's like a really good strategy. It really is. And, you know, to use his point against him, he talks earlier about being invested into characters and not wanting to put them down, where a lot of us are invested into the game. You'd think that people are going to quit, but I don't think people are really going to quit. I do think a lot of people are going to quit because of the time frames they're giving us. But I don't think if you gave us more time that people would quit, is what I'm saying. People aren't quitting because they don't enjoy the game. People are quitting because they don't enjoy feeling like they're forced to do things in the game. But if they have more choice and privilege to run around and be silly, they run around and be silly more. But they can't because you won't allow them to. But yeah, so I think your marketing strategy is adorable. And it's just funny. Like, please hire me. Doesn't matter what you need fixed in your entire company, structure, anything. I can look at anything. I can look at absolutely anything. Figure out what experts say about that anything. Figure out what they think the best route is about anything. Weigh the pros and cons of both anythings and come out with the best anything. Because that's how simple I look at fucking life. Please hire me. Please, please, you guys are making a ton of money too. I'd love to get paid to fucking play this game. I'll make a difference too, and I'll even work down my tact. I'll stop insulting people and being cruel. Actually, I can't really promise that. Like, some people you just can't get through to, so you have to kind of just be like, you're dumb, because you're dumb. And I'm sorry, it's hard to work with people like that sometimes. But yeah, let's finish this video.
You let them have all this motherfucking free time to develop out this roster, and that makes gatekeeping way worse.
Also, this guy fucked up. Do you know why this guy fucked up? And I'm not trying to be mean. He saved 3,000 bound. He didn't watch my video. That's one, right? My video on resources and how they work. But two, this was a terrible decision. You do not keep your characters at 1490 for multiple reasons. One, you get to 1520 for free. So you did this as the dumbest decision possible. Sorry, Van Gogh, but this is the truth. One. But for the second reason that it's stupid is because you'd be surprised at how far a little bit of gold and bound resources goes on a character when you just kind of occasionally hit for a tap or something. Genuinely. I mean that. And yeah, you might get your pity still here and there, but you could have pushed these characters. No, actually, I hate this one the most because you should have just got them to 1520 if you were going to funnel a character, and you would have gotten more resources by doing that, but you didn't. You didn't. The optimal state wasn't staying at 1490 there. The optimal state was 1520. And then my belief on the optimal state, because of how many characters I run, is actually 1540. I didn't do that. I got them all to 1560, but I did that because I wanted to get the jewelry. Like, the Chaos Dungeon. Like, my goal really was the Chaos Dungeon with my 6 ults. And it wasn't optimal, and I had to sell all my gems like you saw what I did if you watch my series. But the point is 3k. Yeah, so it's... You sat on those materials too long. A bird in the hand kind of concept. Like, you did... Why? Why, you know what I mean? Why? You probably had excess gold too. Like, these are the types of kids that sit on like 100,000, 200,000, a million gold, and then they brag about it. Like no, you're probably completing this dude's Chaos Dungeon every single day. So the fact that he's not 1520, that's a massive fucking issue because it was free. But two, not too far from 1520 is 1540. Like, the taps from... It's like 14 or 15, I think you have to get. Like, it's not, they're not bad taps. They're really easy. A lot of them are going to be 1 taps or free taps. That's the other thing. You have free taps. Free taps. So the fact that these characters weren't progressed to 1540 with 3,000 bound materials is sad. Because that means you farmed, to get 3,000 bound materials, you farmed, that's a couple months. That's 1 week's like, on one character is like 400, 500 or something like that, I think. I'm bullshitting. I don't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, let's say you get like 400 a week, right? And you do all your shit, your dailies, everything, right? So you get 400 a week. We'll say 500, it's easy math. You get 1,000 in 2 weeks, you get 2,000 a month. Yeah, so it takes you about a month and a half to get that. So for a month and a half, you didn't even try to get the... Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So that's...
Characters is gas to the gills. You're never... There's no alt run. What's an alt run? They're all main runs, dude. They're all fucking 5x3,
right.
level 9 gems, level 7 gems.
He's right, and I'm always so upset because I'll see people who have like absolutely cracked accounts, right? And their main character's just juice, but it's the truth. Like, if I thought about this, because I lectured a long time ago about jewelry being a waste of money to people, but if I looked at the game like what this is being displayed as now, 1 main character, then your books aren't that expensive if you have 6 characters. If you're thinking of 1 main character, then saving up 100,000 gold for a piece of jewelry, which I still would have argued was a bad idea in the past, not now, isn't actually a bad idea. It's not actually a bad idea if it's your main character, because you're focusing that character to be your best, giving them the best gems, right? So, again, I stand by what I said, that there is a ratio to be followed, and that it can be done in less time. But you need to really have a good idea for how the numbers work. And you need to know, like, I just actually uploaded a video on ratios. I call it the Ebony Cube stuff. So that should help you understand a little bit about how we're going to get an influx of silver so you can make some plays because of that, you know. So whether you want to roll gems or you want to get some tripods, try for some tripods, whatever, you're going to have a little bit of extra silver to do some shit. Or get characters to 1445.
Juiced up characters. There's no such thing as an alt run anymore. Right? When Vaulton came out, there was alt runs because you maybe had 1. Nowadays, you got 5 motherfuckers entering Bro. And people post it on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? People post it on Twitter, boys. They got fucking, you know, I'm 1540, I'm hard, bro, ready. And it's not 1 character, it's all of them. it makes it worse for a new person getting into the game when everyone's so juiced, bro. It doesn't make it better. Now,
He's right.
eventually, it will.
He's right, and I talked about the RWT RMT real world trading problem, right? And like I hate talking about it anymore. I really do, for personal reasons. Like I actually hate talking about it now, but whatever. I'm still gonna talk about it. And I pointed this out a long time ago. There's a lot of resources produced by the bots, which is correlation to RWT RMT, right? Because they're selling gold. There's a lot of resources that were put into the game and fluxed into the economy and into the game. So like our characters being so broken is a part of it. We shouldn't be this cracked. Like there shouldn't have been that many gems in the world. Like in the lens of Arcasia on our servers, there shouldn't have been that many gems. So like there shouldn't be that many level 10s on this many people because there shouldn't have been that many in the first place. We were the most heavily botted region, I think they said, right? So what he's pointing out right here, I hate to say it, this isn't because of playing more than one character. This is actually because of the RWT RMT bots. That's what this was. Where even if we played a ridiculous amount of hours, humanly possible, we would have only been so cracked. The excess amount of juice pouches and shit in the economy, like the excess amount of shit that's in the overall resource pool, because we all started at zero. The entire world started at zero, and we've been producing since then, right? And using since then, right? But fucking addicts. But no, but we've gotten, you know what I mean? So I hope that makes sense. I do hope that makes sense. But yeah.
Lead to where Korea's at too, where they give them so much time in between content developments. If you don't push your main and you push up the goddamn roster, you're gonna want to keep continuing to push them. You've invested in them. You're gonna want to move them up.
And that's why you should give us more time between
and
content.
that is the core fundamental problem of the game, right? The game encourages you to make new characters because they just give them to you. It's the highlight of the game. I know Asmon said that people wouldn't make alts. Bro, people make alts in every game. I'm not saying the game doesn't benefit you to make some alts.
It's not just about making alts for funneling and things like that too, or just because the character's exciting. There's a certain level of identity in some of these games that you relate to your character, right? Some of us just do trolly stupid shit, and those are the people that don't even take themselves serious. I don't care how that sounds. I think how you represent yourself in all aspects of life are pretty much the same sometimes. You reflect. If you're a troll, you're a troll. You're a troll at work. If you're unreliable, you're unreliable. You're unreliable at work and in game. It's just who you are as a person. I'm passionate and fucking nuts. I'm like this across the board. You know what I mean? I'm erratic.
But the way people play them in Lost Ark, it doesn't benefit you because you invest so much into those characters. Very few people in this game are living in turtle jail with 4x3 on 6 characters. No one's getting the true value of an alt in Lost Ark, at least in our version. Very few people. Most people have 6 mains. They don't have 1 main and 6 alts. They have 6 mains. They all have 6 mains. And why? Because you want to play them. You want to play them, right? You want to you want to do it because you want to play the class. They sell it to you hella hard. They give you a free power pass. They let you juice it up. They release 3 a year. I mean, how are you supposed to balance that? Be honest, right? For me too, I can give you a personal example. I have to choose now. What am I going to do, man? I want to make Slayer really bad, but I've also got my sharpshooter to push, and that's the decision, right? I have to choose one or the other. You give people enough time, it's well, if I raise that Slayer.
I'm playing this whole thing because it's a reactionary video. I haven't actually watched it yet. I just knew he was saying some pretty good things early on, so I figured, fuck it all.
Then I'll do my sharpshooter. Then I got both.
So I'm watching.
You know what I mean? And then and guess what I got? Well, it looks like I'm gonna have 2 Kyangles ready to go. Maybe I'll have 3 Kyangles. Fuck, I got 4, so now I've got Brel, Kyangle on all my characters. That's a lot. That's too much. It's too much. It's too much fucking rating and shit.
He's right.
It's too much. Again,
he is right.
All for it. I personally believe it'd be so fantastic if they you just buffed, you unlock the raids and you buff first time clear rewards and you just choose what you want to play on that week and then you play for. That's what they should do to alleviate a little bit of this, right? Because when you invest in that character, you're gonna.
He's right, because everybody would play Vault and Vikings.
And you're gonna have a lot.
And you know why this is a good idea? What he's talking about right now too, especially if we got the same amount of gold, or at least just got comparable gold. I wouldn't even care if I went back to the old gold and I sacrificed Brel. I wouldn't give a shit. I really wouldn't. To be able to do Vault and again on the old gold, right? But it might not be a bad idea because then we'd be doing those lower level content. And the people who are new, who need people to carry them through it, it would keep us encouraged to do it and help them, right? So
a lot of work for yourself. And that's what people are complaining about. They've set up all of these, and it's not their fault. I'm not here to blame them. Right? You're just playing in the sandbox that was created for you. I think that's what needs to be revisited. I think that it's the design of the game it's cool, man. You want to make these fun classes, right? You want to make these fun classes. I want to make them. So you think I'm making Slayer because I'm thinking about the gold I'm gonna make? No one thinks like that. You know what I'm thinking about when I think of Slayer? I'll fucking show you right now. There are 2 reasons. You need to expand the game beyond Chaos Dungeons and Guardians and front load mats elsewhere and expand the game so people can do other things so they're not worried about cutting down on your dailies because they're worried you're going to run out of stuff to do.
No, again, give us more time. If we need 4 months to perfectly hit the content with funneling, whatever method that they intended, right? I'm just going to say it like it is. I don't even, because this is what's great about this argument. Whatever my solution is the solution. I don't care. Like, it really is. Like, just please do it. Please do it. Please be smart as a company. Okay. If they give us more time with the game, that'll allow us to do more different things. If we need whatever their standard is to get to the content. So if they wanted us to use 5 characters to funnel 1 character, that's fine. To get to 1600 on time, whatever their plan was for people to be on time without spending to. Whatever they intentionally meant for the game design for us to do from point A to point B. So if they intended it for be 4 months of 5 characters funneling 1, which is what they're looking at, to get a con ready 1600, right? Then they should give us 6 months or 8 months, because it gives us 2 months to 4 months of overhead. And granted, what that then means is that you can now get, instead of 1 character, maybe 2 or 3 characters to a con ready, right? But only if you're really grinding the game. So you're rewarding the people who play a lot, but you're also allowing the people who don't play a lot to still keep up.
Cutting down on your dailies because they're worried you're going to run out of stuff to do. Give people other activities in the game to do. Give people other things in the game to do, and allow people to just
They can't do them because they don't have time.
You just get the mats, and you can claim it once, roster-wide. That's it. So if someone like Asmon wants to play 1 character, he can just do
that. That ratio I keep talking about, it's actually getting, why I'm having a hard time with these videos is it's getting harder and harder to respect that ratio that I keep talking about with your account because of this. I used to even do life skill things, right? And right now it's actually good gold, so like I should kind of be doing that. Instead of doing Guardian raids, I should be doing that. So Guardian raids on the main 6, but beyond that I should be doing life skill, right? But besides that point, right, I used to do a little bit of everything. I'd even do some story-based things. Like right now, I've been wanting to get certain characters to get the roster XP through their towers. I haven't even done the new tower. Like, I still haven't even done the new tower. Do you see what I'm getting at? He's right. Like, we definitely want to do more things, but we can't do more things. That funnel that I was talking about, that ratio, it's getting harder to respect it because they are kind of just applying so much pressure to keep up with this content. And I get it. I could just funnel 1 character, and it's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's not wrong, but...
Do that. He hits his ghost ship, gets fatty mats, he hits whatever. Well, I don't give a fuck. People don't like the idea of ghost ship. Whatever, I don't care. Let him go do some activity, get extra mats, and that's it. I bet you people would still be making the alts, boys. You know what I'm saying? I bet you more than anything, even if...
Alts aren't the problem. Alts aren't the problem because there's rest bonus. It's the time frame. I don't know how nobody's seeing this. It's genuinely the time frame. It doesn't need to be a year. It needed to be more than 4 months. Even 6 months. That's what I'm saying. Like, I planned October. October was 6 or 8. No. 8 was to 12. No. Yeah, hold up. Wait a minute. So we got Arbel a month ago. It's like 6 months. 6 months would be October. That's perfect. They need to give us 6 months for a con. Period.
Even if they did that system, you would still be making a Slayer. I bet you more than anything right now, benefit Chaos Dungeons, and they're going to make one every single time a class comes out. Yeah. And that's why they locked it at 6. And the people that said, no, who gives a shit? Why? Stop bitching that they locked it at 6 golden characters. You're playing way too much. Guess what? Those same people are going to make a new class every single time, and they're going to hit that 6 limit. And they're going to want to do the raids on that character, man. They want to... That's a motherfucking rant. Obviously, I don't have all the solutions, but I can see it. I live with people that we talk about this shit all the motherfucking time, boys. I live in a household with Lost Ark degens. You know what I mean? We go to dinner, we talk about Lost Ark.
See, and that's important because that means that they do talk about this stuff all the time, but they're getting so into the details of the problem that they're kind of missing the solution. That's why he's like, I don't have a solution. The solution, again, is extend the time. It's easy for me to come to that conclusion because I don't need all the details and the little things that they probably talk about at the table. As a matter of fact, I think the details are why they're missing this, right? They're getting so hung up on these different principles, and that's why when I'm going through these principles, I'm literally pointing out, like, the marketing thing, how they actually contradict themselves, like, constantly. So I loved this. There was a lot of truth in his video. I mean, he doesn't get why I love it. Clearly, he doesn't understand this because he would have just said the time frame thing. But
That's what we do. Anyway, I encourage you guys.
Make alts.
To just realize, at least look at what you're doing, and realize what
Amen.
you're doing.
The truest thing he said the whole video. That's why I always say to everybody, like, my ratios are different than your ratios. You need to look at your stuff and apply my ideologies to them. Right? So, because I said something pretty cold in the last video. I was like, indoctrinate yourself. Like, your fucking little brains don't work. And I mean that. Like, I don't mean it in the cold, cruel-hearted way I said it. But I do mean it in the sense that, like, yeah, like, use my ideologies. Take on my mindset when you look at your stuff. Even if you don't believe in my mindset yet. I'm going to say it like that. Use it. Put the lens on temporarily so you can see through my eyes if you can. And I promise you, you're going to see your account in a different way, the same way that I'm seeing this game in a different way. And I hope that anybody who watches this evolved mentalities, evolves their brains, and they see all of this shit in a different way. And I guess that's kind of condescending because I'm implying that I'm evolved at some point. But, right, you got to know your ratio. Thank you guys for tuning in for another one that was longer than I wanted it to be. And I'm probably going to edit out the pauses and stuff where I was just thinking. But, yeah, man, I mean, it's not complicated. Again, this is just more proof in pudding, like, extend the time period. Every person who comes out with a rant about this or some sort of problem video from now on about Lost Ark, I'm literally going to keep addressing it with the same exact solution until I find one that does not fit the bill, that doesn't fit the agenda, that cannot be fixed by the time frame extension. Until I find one, I'm going to keep hitting it because this is an easy chord. This is an easy chord. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.